Secure Sockets Layer, commonly known as SSL, is a security protocol that provides privacy, authentication, and integrity to Internet communications. SSL eventually evolved into Transport Layer Security, or TLS, with the latest version being TLS 1.3. While TLS is the protocol used today, most vendors, including Cloudflare, still refer to it as SSL, so I'll be using that term as well to avoid confusion. HTTP, which is short for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, was first defined back in 1991 with version 0.9. HTTP can be thought of as the language of the web. It is spoken by all browsers and web servers and enables the transfer of documents, images, audio, and other kinds of media. HTTP by itself is unencrypted and therefore not secure, but it can be wrapped in a layer of SSL. This is HTTPS. When you visit a site using HTTPS, all traffic between your browser and the server is encrypted. This is signaled by the log icon in the address bar. Encryption ensures that no one but the sender and the receiver can see the information being sent back and forth. When you visit Cloudflare.com over HTTPS, anyone listening on the wire will simply see nonsensical gibberish. But encryption by itself does nothing to ensure you're actually talking to the real Cloudflare.com web server. Someone physically located between your browser and the web server could be intercepting and modifying requests and responses, and both the browser and the web server would be none the wiser. A man-in-the-middle attack occurs when an attacker positions himself between a client and a server in order to eavesdrop or impersonate one of the parties. In this case, the attacker would need access to a network device somewhere along the path of the traffic, or have the ability to redirect traffic by performing DNS spoofing. This could, for example, be a government agency wanting to spy on its citizens, or an ISP wanting to inject ads and messages into third-party websites. This is why you need an SSL certificate. An SSL certificate enables your browser to cryptographically ensure it is talking directly to the real Cloudflare.com web server, and not an intermediate proxy pretending to be the real deal. Let's go through the different SSL modes available to all Cloudflare customers. With SSL set to strict, all traffic will be end-to-end encrypted, but it requires that your origin server has a valid SSL certificate installed. This can be a free certificate issued by a publicly trusted certificate authority like Let's Encrypt, but you can also use a Cloudflare origin certificate that you generate in the Cloudflare dashboard. This effectively makes man-in-the-middle attacks impossible, and it is the only mode I would recommend you use. Full SSL is similar to strict SSL in the sense that all traffic will be end-to-end encrypted. However, Cloudflare will not verify the validity of the SSL certificate presented by your origin, allowing you to use a self-signed or expired certificate. But this also means Cloudflare cannot tell your origin server apart from a man in the middle who is intercepting and modifying information using their own self-signed certificate. This means full SSL mode is not actually secure. Flexible SSL enables encryption between the browser and Cloudflare and allows visitors to access your site over HTTPS. However, all traffic between Cloudflare and your origin server will remain insecure, and your site will still be vulnerable to man-in-the-middle attacks. You might think this is a good option as it does not require you to install an SSL certificate at your origin server, but flexible SSL can actually be worse than simply turning SSL off. It gives the visitors a false sense of security and can be seen as deceptive, especially if you handle any kind of personal information. Furthermore, it is often the cause of problems like mixed content and redirect loops. It is therefore strongly recommended that you select a more secure SSL mode such as strict SSL. When SSL is turned off, all traffic will be sent unencrypted and your website will not be accessible over HTTPS. Just like with full and flexible SSL, this mode opens you up to man-in-the-middle attacks. The bottom line here is, if you care about the security of your website and your visitors, strict SSL is the only way to go. Nowadays, hosting providers have no excuse for not providing a free SSL certificate or the option to manually install one. So, if your hosting provider is unable or unwilling to provide this, you may want to consider switching to one that does. If you do not require SSL for your website, maybe your website is very non-controversial and doesn't handle any personal information at all, then that's your choice to make. But don't hide the fact that your website is insecure by using flexible or full SSL. Turn it off instead. You should either use strict SSL or turn SSL off completely, as anything in between provides a false sense of security and is deceptive to the users of your website.